Welcome, everyone, to the weekly recap of the Creating Young Minds Undiscovered League, as well as the Lewisville Leopards in the TBL, which is the basketball league. So we got a great show for tonight. We had 3 games on tap, so we have quite a bit to get to. Let me share out the show here just a second. But excited to get back on the mic like I normally do, and not like the storms that we had last week. So it was a little bit different last week than what I normally do. But I am back to regularly scheduled programming. And like I said, excited to get into this week. So first off, I will say this. The Lewisville Leopards went 1-1 this weekend, so that is definitely a good thing. They had a little bit of a tough weekend last weekend, but the guys are doing their thing. They're bouncing back, and like I said that they would, because I believe in these guys. I think they're talented, and I think they have all the skill possible. So shout out to those that are watching on YouTube, those that are watching on Facebook, those that are watching on Periscope. Thank you for tuning in. Leave a comment. Let me know where you're listening from. Let me know how your day was, and we'll get right into it. So first off, we're going to talk about week 20 of the Creating Young Minds Undiscovered League. We had 1 game this weekend. Normally there's 2, but we actually had a home game and an away game. So we only had 1 game this weekend, and specifically we had the Pros versus the Texas Bruins. So if this is your first time tuning in, first of all, thank you. Second of all, let me say this. The Creating Young Minds organization is a way to help build young men, just like it says. Young minds, helping them achieve their goals in basketball and their goals in life. So this organization is not only focused on focusing on just their basketball skills, but a part of everything. So that is always exciting to be able to cover these guys. Now, the Creating Young Minds Undiscovered League is a professional basketball league with players alongside young men aspiring to play professional in the USA and around the world. And then the Lewisville Leopards, that is a basketball team that's involved in the TBL, which you can see right behind me. You can see that logo. Let me move to this side right there. You can go to thebasketballleague.net, also go to creatingyoungminds.org, and you can watch the games in the TBL on thebasketballleague.net and click on TBL. That is where you'll be able to find the information, and then go to creatingyoungminds.org. We'll be able to find out the information on the Creating Young Minds Undiscovered League. So let's get right into the games on tap. Also, this link down below is where you can watch the Undiscovered games through the Creating Young Minds website. Shout out to my man Wilkes in the building. He said Periscope is about to go away, by the way. Thank you for that info. I didn't know that, so thank you for that. We'll have to talk about off air when that's going to be going away, because I use that as one of the platforms. But I'm thinking about going into and using Twitch. I know Twitch is a good platform also, so we'll see. All right, let's get into it. The Texas Bruins versus the Pros. The Texas Bruins are 2 star players are Keith Smith. The other star player on that team as well would be Alan Smith. They're not related, but they are just pure scorers. That's all I can really put it, man. They play, I think, all around good basketball. They're physical players, and they're always fun to watch. Just one of those guys that these are one of these players when they get on the floor. They definitely do their thing, time in and time out. So it's always good to see these guys playing. All right, so Keith Smith is the one that scored first. You see, I brought up his name. He is, I believe he's 18 or 19 years old. This kid can just flat out ball. Hopefully, he's going to be getting an opportunity to go into college soon because he definitely has the skills to do it. So he is a fun player to watch. Always looking forward to watching him when he gets on the floor. Nice ball movement by the Texas Bruins. They were, I think, this is probably one of the best games that they've had. And a lot of times these teams are mixed up of teams that have played throughout this league, throughout this Undiscovered League. So they're may playing on one team one day, playing on another team the other day. But it's a really good atmosphere, and these guys really go at it. They are competing, and that's all you can really ask for. Draylon Triplett and CJ Carter are two players to watch for the pros. If you're not familiar with either one of those names, look it up. CJ Carter used to play in the NBA for the Knicks, also for the Texas Legends. Draylon Triplett, he's a 6'7" baller overseas. He's played in different countries. He's extremely talented, and it's always fun to watch him play. The Lewisville Leopards' own Rob Williams and Brandon McElvey were playing for the pros. This was on Friday. Rosie Coleman, nice play by the Bruins. He had a few nice plays. I wanted to make sure I gave him a shout out. He was playing some good ball. It's no doubt about that. Driving to the hole, making some jumpers. Keith Smith and the Bruins, I could say it in my notes, with a stroke, man, he was hitting a lot of threes. At all the opportunities that he had, he was hitting his shots. Rob Williams for the pros was doing the same thing. Like I said, he's a part of the Lewisville Leopards team. Alan Smith, always a player to watch. Shout out to BS3 Radio own Queen 3 and King podcast. He said, "What's up, Trey?" That's my nickname. Y'all can call me Trey. It's all good. At the end of the first, it was 18-14. In this game, just FYI, it is a running clock. So a lot of these scores are going to be extremely low scoring. And that's because the clock is always running. And it's really just a way for these guys to get some run and get some opportunities. Rob Williams started to heat up. Also, Rosie Coleman, again, with a nice and one. These guys were just playing, solid ball, going back and forth. I was really impressed with how they were able to stick with the pros. And the pros is a team, obviously, two former pro players, but also they just play really good sound basketball. And it was a nice, good back and forth type game. Bruins with some good hustle. Brandon McElvey hits a three. He had a couple of threes on the day. Like I said, a good back and forth. Number 4, Clinton. Don't have his last name, but he played for the Bruins. He was extremely active. It was 29-38 at halftime. So it was close. This was still a good game. It was close. Keith Smith and CJ Carter going back and forth. I don't have any highlights tonight, but I will give you the recap of the 3 games that we had this past weekend. Ramon Tuck coming in, making an impact. At the end of the third, going into the fourth quarter, it was still a close game. Brandon McElvey, like I said, with some nice plays also in the fourth quarter. What up, though, to my man Fremont Jackson, a.k.a. Easy. Said, what up, though? It's been too long. Hope you've been well. Yeah, definitely, man. Doing good. Just really grinding at continuing to build this YouTube channel, as well as covering this professional organization, Lewisville Leopards, and Creating Our Minds organization. So, yeah, man, doing good. I see you doing big things, too. Make sure to follow my man. He's also with Woodward Sports out of Detroit. They do a really good job. He's been influential in kind of helping them build and grow. Also, Queen 3 and King podcast. They'll be going live tomorrow. So make sure if you're watching, wherever you're watching, type in Queen 3 and King podcast. Also on YouTube specifically, he commented, so you can like and subscribe to that. And my man David Wilkes will be coming on the forecast at the top of the hour. We'll be reviewing the Amazon original movie Without Remorse, starring Michael B. Jordan. So we'll definitely be doing that. And appreciate you too, Easy. Appreciate you too. All right, so going in the fourth quarter, Bruins playing well on both ends of the floor. In the fourth, Texas Bruins playing to win. You know, there's a different look in players' eyes when they're playing to win and when they're just playing around. And they were definitely playing to win, no doubt. Keith Smith basically taking the game in his own hands. And at the end of the day, Texas Bruins won 76-70. What a great performance. And they definitely took care of business. So excited about that one. Now let's switch gears over to the Lewisville Leopards. You can see that logo up above by my head. And you can see, you can go to thebasketballleague.net where you'll be able to watch the games on TBL TV. The Basketball League, it's kind of a similar league to CBA, was kind of going around, but they have teams all over the country, so I highly suggest you check it out. You were a big influence of mine in the beginning. Help me with the live streams especially. Yeah, definitely Easy. That's me, man. I'm willing to help whoever, get whatever I learn, I am willing to share it with you, because this is not some things that it was more difficult than others to get to. But I don't want people struggling in this podcast game, because it's a family, and I'm ready and willing to help. But the live streaming is where it's at. And if you are interested in using StreamYard, I would highly suggest you do it. Reach out to me. I do have a promo code that'll help you get kind of speeded up in the process. All right, so let's get to week 6 of the Lewisville Leopards TBL season. And I want to give a shout out to Brandon McElvey. And I'm going to tag him in this also. But he did a really good job commentating. So they had a home game and an away game. So just to kind of give you, the gist of how this whole thing works, this organization is a collective. These guys work together. No person is stingy, or no person is just looking out for self. And that's one thing that I really appreciate about this organization, is that they are always looking to make the next person better. So Brandon McElvey did a great job. There's guys doing commentating. If they're not doing commentating, they're running the booth. If they're not running the booth, they're doing some of everything. And that is one thing that I've been impressed about. So that's why I tell you each week, check out the website, check out the games. This is a really professional and well-done organization that's helping build young men. So game 1 was the Lewisville Leopards against the Dallas Skyline. This was a chippy matchup here. Obviously, it's a little bit of a rivalry. You got Lewisville and Dallas, they're neighboring cities, but these guys were truly going at it. And I appreciate Queen 3 and King. That's my man Doc. That's why I joined BS3 Radio Group. Our willingness to give our time, and help others. Thank you, sir. That is it, man. That is it. So the starting 5: Aziz, Fadika, Balsa, Bolshevik, Chase Winchester, Tremaine Thomas, and Michael Lenore. That was a pretty good starting lineup. And they came to play, and I knew that they were. You can go back and watch last week's show. There was some struggles in last week's games, and it showed, because they went 0-2 last weekend. They went 1-1 this weekend, so they're moving in the right direction. This weekend we had no Trey Patterson or Jared Jetpack Jay Henderson. Those are two very talented guys. that did not play this past weekend. So let's go right into the game. Skyline gets the tip. Aziz Fadika was out last weekend because of a hamstring injury. He came in this weekend, and he was on fire. I mean, when you talk about guys that can cut to the hole or slashers, he is one of the best that I've seen. He's a really good finisher too. Joseph Burton scores the first bucket for the Dallas Skyline. I want to give a shout out to Ricardo Ardos. He plays for the Dallas Skyline. And this is an extremely talented team. Both of these teams are talented. Michael Lenore was spawning with a three. Chase Winchester was heating up. He was having a really, really good game. When I get to the stat sheet, you'll see exactly what I'm talking about. But like I said, these guys really came ready to play because they had a tough weekend last weekend, which is that's what you expect. When you're a professional team or when you're a competitor at all, if you have a down day, if you have a down weekend, if you have a down night, you always want to come back and bounce back. And that's exactly what they were able to do. I'm impressed. I'm proud of these guys because they knew that they know that their backs are going to be against the wall as you get further along, through this TBL season. Balsa with back-to-back threes. Balsa Bolshevik, he is from Montenegro, and that's another great thing about this league that they have guys from all over playing. It was 27-20 in the first. Jesse Williams comes in. Jesse Williams, my man, got one of the best mid-range jumpers I've seen ever. He is pretty spot on. When he's on the floor, 9 times out of 10, he's gonna get you, 10 to 15 points easy. That's easy. He was 5 of 8 from the field, but extremely talented. It was 31-30 at the end of the first. Chase Winchester hitting 3 threes in the first quarter. That's impressive. Stanley Williams comes in, hits a 3 right off the bench. They got a lot of three-point shooters. Wesley Harris for the Dallas Skyline was on fire. He came in on fire. He came in hitting any and everything he was putting up. It was going in the bucket. Excuse me. Leopards responding to controversy. Both teams got into a scuffle. It started, like I said, to get chippy. If you live in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, you know that Dallas and Lewisville are neighboring cities. So I knew there was going to be a rivalry kind of going on just because these guys are gritty and they want to win. They want the bragging rights. It's no playing around when it comes to guys playing basketball at this level. So both teams got into a scuffle. And like I said, this is definitely a rivalry. From now on, this is definitely a rivalry. I believe these two teams were in the TBL last year, but it's different this year. Jesse Williams and Gabe Hobbs got ejected for the Lewisville Leopards. I was really wondering how was that going to affect the team, because if you got 2 of your main guys out, what is that going to do to the team as a whole? 46-46 in the second quarter. Balsa Bolshevik was on fire. It was a great back and forth. At halftime, it was 66-61. Leopards were up. That's one thing that the Leopards have struggled with, and that's being down in games, especially at halftime. And it seems like at halftime, when they're down, you get to the third quarter, they're down. It's hard to kind of crawl out of that hole. But I will commend them this week. They did an amazing job at sticking to it and keeping this lead. Michael Lenore at halftime. Big ups to Michael Lenore. 10 points, 13 assists at halftime. That's some people's numbers over the whole game. That's what he did at halftime. You got to give this guy his props. NBA prospect. Balsa was hitting threes, and also Ricardo Artis was another top player at halftime. And I definitely have to say, man, these guys were doing their thing. And this game specifically, I think, was one of the best games that the Leopards have had. Aziz playing as a force in the third quarter. Michael Lenore getting the ball to Aziz. Aziz Fadika, one of the best finishers in the TBL. Dominating. He was dominating the game at one point. Anything he was putting up was going in. Joseph Burton getting key buckets for the Dallas Skyline. Chase Winchester was on fire. Malachi Davidson for the Dallas Skyline hits a shot at the buzzer at the end of the third. It was 98-92. The Leopards were up. Malachi Davidson going at it with Michael Lenore. When I say going at it, they were just going back and forth. One would hit a three, the other one would hit a three. It was great basketball to watch. Then we started to get into some dirty plays from the Dallas Skyline. Wesley Harris, which was killing it pretty much the whole game. He threw a player to the ground, which was Balsa Bolshevik, and that would end up kind of creating something. Started to see some dirty plays by Wesley Harris. Disappointed in that, and the refs were just missing calls, missing timeouts. I don't know exactly what game they were watching or what game they were calling, but they were missing calls and timeouts. It continued to get chippy. Leopards were not backing down. That's one thing I respect about these guys. They did not back down when it started to get tough. When the players started getting to their faces, when they started to get in the scuffles, when two of their players went out of the game, they stuck in there and they did their thing. It was 111-108 with 3:21 left in the fourth. I started to wonder, will they give up this lead? Malachi Davidson is a shooter. Shout out to him. Chase Winchester is also a shooter, though. So he was getting his threes in there. It was 114 up. It was a close game late in this game. Michael Lenore on the line. He makes one of two. It was 4.6 seconds left. A 2-point possession game. Malachi Davidson hits a three. It was not enough. And the Lewisville Leopards get a win this weekend, 119-118. Definitely impressed with these guys. I will continue to be impressed as they continue to do their thing. If you are watching on YouTube, make sure to like, subscribe, click that notification bell so you can be on top of all the content that we put out here at BS3 Radio. Not only do we talk about creating your mind's basketball, we review movies, we talk about sports, music, life, comedy. We pretty much have it all, uploading new videos every single day. So Leopards get their third win of the year. That takes me into the next game, which was on Sunday. I was expecting them to get another win. Unfortunately, it did not pan out. They did lose this game by 7. I'll get right into it and break this game down. But I was impressed by their fight. But I was hoping and praying that they would come out of this weekend 2-0 because they really needed it. Leopards come out to an early lead in the first quarter. That's a great sign. Jesse Williams and Aziz making an impact as they get it going. It was 24-21 at the end of the first quarter. Jamori Robinson, 7-foot center for the Little Rock Lightning. He was making an impact. He didn't score a ton of points, but he was making an impact. Also, you had the Leopards looking like a different team, on this game Sunday. Now, I do want to back up. I apologize. I did not give you the stats over the first game. So let me go back. Let me rewind back. Leopards win 119-118. Chase Winchester with 31 points, 8 of 13 from the three. A guy hit 8 3-pointers in a game. That's a great day. He is also the leader in steals in the TBL. Balsa Bolshevik had 6 threes on the day. He had 26. 9 rebounds. He is in the top 10 in the TBL for rebounds. Aziz Fadika, like I said, man, he was pretty much lights out. He went 10 for 13 from the field. 20 points, 9 rebounds, 8 of them offensive. That's a good day. Michael Lenore with 16 points. But the biggest thing I want to point out is that this young man had 20 assists. 20, count them, 20 assists. Big day. He is second in the TBL in assists, doing his thing. Jesse Williams with 10. That was him with him getting kicked out of the game. Jermaine Thomas with 7. Marcus Brooks with 4. Stanley Williams with 4. Austin Wire with 1. Going over to the Dallas Skyline, Wesley Harris with 31. He had a pretty big day, 4 threes. He also had 6 rebounds. Ricardo Artis for 26. Jay Burton, I had his name, Joseph Burton. He has a good day with, let me go back to 22 points. Malachi Davidson with 20. And Chancellor Ellis with 10. Also, Lyle Hexum. He used to play for the Waco Royals. He now plays for the Dallas Skyline. He made an impact with 7. So that's the win of the weekend for the Leopards. Now continuing back with the Leopards and the Little Rock Lightning. Aziz is one of the best. He is the best cutter on this team, but he's one of the best cutters in the TBL. Leopards up by 4. Playing their traditional game. And their traditional game was playing full court press defense. Chase Winchester getting steals, Michael Lenore getting to the line and dropping dimes. It was looking really good. It was looking really good. Leopards playing solid D, that's their DNA. Dante Terrell is a player for the Little Rock Lightning. Wanted to give him a shout out. Leopards at halftime, 44-41. They were up by 3. That's a good sign. That's going in the right direction. Pretty slow coming out in the third quarter for both teams. Michael Lenore redeeming himself after mistakes. That's one thing that I respect about him, is not only when you make mistakes, it's okay to make mistakes. It's how you respond to those mistakes. And he comes back stronger after he makes a mistake. And also he is very vocal. He gets his guys in the game. He is one of those true point guards, that you love to watch. Little Rock sound defensively. Purcell Washington was a monster down low. The Leopards had a problem with him in past games. They had a problem with him again in this game. It was just hard to cover this guy that's big. And they don't have someone down low that can really body up with him. So going into the fourth, Little Rock up by 3. It's still a close game. It's ready and available for anyone to win. Leopards with some struggles in the fourth. They go down by 7. Chase Winchester with a field goal. They're down by 5. Aziz Fadika with a steal. Jermaine Thomas with a field goal. They're down by 4. I'm starting to get excited. Leopards down by 10 with 5 minutes left. So that lead that the Little Rock Lightning had continued to increase. Can they come back? 5 minutes left. Can they come back? Leopards struggling to make easy buckets. They had quick drives to the lane, quick drives to the bucket. They just could not get the job done. It was time to D up, but it was just a little too late. 88-81, Little Rock Lightning wins. I was still impressed with their play. I'm definitely not going to lie. Was impressed by how they played. Was impressed that they stuck in there. But at the end of the day, it just was not enough. And they'll bounce back. This is a team, I say it every single time, they are resilient. We hear that word a lot in sports, but this team is truly resilient. Let's get to the stat sheet. Purcell Washington with 20. I already brought him up. I told you this guy was a beast down low. Isaiah Esau at 23 on the day. Jeremy Burright had 11. Devontae Terrell had 8. And Ty Walker on the day had 10. Going over to the Lewisville Leopards side, Tremaine Thomas had 19 on the day. Struggling from the three, went 1 for 11. But that's, shooters continue to shoot. Michael Lenore had 15. He had 10 assists, again, a double-double, true point guard, like I said, and 7 rebounds, almost had a triple-double. It's not getting any better than that. Chase Winchester with 12. He was struggling from the three. They went 4 for 28 from the three. That's 14%. This was not a good shooting day. Marcus Brooks with 12. Aziz Fadika with 11. Gabe Hobbs with 6. Jesse Williams with 6. So that wraps up the Lewisville Leopards week 6. And they had some struggles this weekend. They fought hard. At the end of the day, though, it just was not enough. So coming up next weekend, or actually this weekend, they have the Waco Royals at home on the 22nd and the Midtown Prestige on the 23rd. They lost to the Waco Royals game, the first game that they played. So I'm expecting them to bounce back and get a W this weekend. I'm expecting them to get 2 W's this weekend. They beat the Midtown Prestige earlier in the season, April the 17th. So I'm expecting them to bounce back and beat them again. So I expect 2-0. Like I said, playing the Waco Royals on the 22nd. That game will be at 2 p.m. Midtown Prestige at 2 p.m. as well. So that'll give you your weekend games, Saturday and Sunday. Also, they will have Creating Young Minds Undiscovered League games as well before the TBL games. So I'll have a big recap for you next week. And also, hopefully, we will have some highlights as well. But I would definitely say this. Not only is this league and this organization, I should say, Creating Young Minds, not only do they play in a professional league, but they're also a charitable organization. So they go out to different organizations and help and do food drives, and they are making an impact in the community. I want to go to this exact organization just so I can make sure I say it correctly. But they find ways to help in the community. So the organization is called the Christian Community Action, and they go and they help and they volunteer their time. They did it in the weather earlier today, and they do it, I believe, every single week. So I just wanted to point that out, that this organization is not just focused on basketball, but they're focused on building truly what it says, creating young men, creating young minds, but is within those minds is young men. So they're doing their thing. I will be back next week with another good recap. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in live or tuning in after the video or podcast is over. Make sure to check out both of the websites, thebasketballleague.net, creatingourminds.org. Get all your info there. Have a great rest of your night. Hold tight. We will be back in about 24 minutes with the forecast. We'll be reviewing, giving our reaction to Without Remorse, Amazon original movie starring Michael B. Jordan. Appreciate you, Tan Rodriguez, for coming through. Set Point, he's the host of Set Point on IE Sports Radio, also the SoCal Supreme Sports Show. I know you're going to have some good content with the playoffs coming up in the NBA. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Have a great rest of your night. Stay put, because we'll be back with the forecast coming up at the top of the hour. Peace.